Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We were just talking about innocent things in chat. Nothing to see here. No more questions shall be asked. The blue thingy, the heals, good tear rate, bad damage. AY949V67 is the seed. I don't remember what the blue spacebar item does. Is it oh, it's the tear bomb, right? You just shoot tears as if you had Tammy's head, I think. Something like that. I don't fully remember. And our HP is not fantastic either. Oh, that helps though. There's now better than average damage. Tear rate improved, speed went down, which is kind of bad, but that's okay. Hello, Puncher. I didn't do a damn thing. Oh, is it maybe the one where there's a bomb on the floor you can stop it exploding? Nope, I don't remember what it does. Thank you, Hopka, for the bits and for remembering to do the terrible subway thingy so I get 10% more. Found these bits by the arranged drop point. I don't know what you mean. Hello, Blake. Certainly sounds legitimate, whatever it was. I need these. Oh, of course, now they get tired. I need these. I was going to be rude to them. They don't deserve it, but I was going to call them fat asses. That's rude. They don't deserve that. They're adorable. Just annoying. Ooh. Maybe when there's a random bomb on the. Well, that's telekinesis. That's just as bad, if not worse, than a detonator. Right? Ooh, don't know what it does. That did nothing. Yeah, tell me what it does, because I genuinely don't remember. And it might be useful. Definitely more useful than telekinesis. Not in real life, because in real life telekinesis would be badass. Once activated, all tiers in the air split into 6 tiers. Oh, so a tier has to be in the air, then you press it. That's the part I was missing. Thank you. Hello, Frogler. Yeah. Okay, it's a shame it doesn't charge actively in the room, though. If you had decent tier effects, it'd be okay. As it stands, it's just kind of meh, I guess, because we've got basic tiers. So before I end up talking about anything else, there was a moral dilemma regarding this series that I did mention on the weekend when the story was broken by a gaming website that I don't wish to have clicks, because for the most part they're absolutely awful, but still. They exposed that a member of the Nicholas team, Nicholas being the people who published this game and expansions or / content packs, is a big racist asshole. They said some horrible things, did some horrible things, and is generally just a POS. And I remember complaining about said person. Oh look. In this series, it might have been Afterbirth actually, not Afterbirth Plus, I don't remember. And as it turns out, they were so much worse than I thought they were, because I was just complaining that they were the PR person and they're exceptionally rude. When people were complaining about one of the Isaac ports, either the Switch or 3DS or PSP, PS Vita, whatever, they were just being incredible assholes to people complaining about the stuff that still, to my knowledge, hasn't been fixed. But either way, it turns out the person wasn't just their PR person, it's kind of like the CEO of the company. And they're just absolutely horrible. Some of the stuff couldn't be substantiated with evidence, but the racist stuff definitely was. Via Skype chats and Discord chat screen grabs. And that, because they're charging for repentance, right? I don't mean like he is charging for his repentance, but the repentance expansion, the final one for Isaac, that's not free, right? Because I don't really want to give Nicholas any money when they're not firing the person, as far as I'm aware. The person in question did a very non-apology in a tweet in which they didn't use the words "I'm sorry" at any point, and then basically did the whole "it's okay that I said racist things because I have been racisted at." People, I don't know how to past tense racist, but someone has been racist to me in the past, therefore I am allowed to be racist now. Was their defense. They utterly ignored the more serious accusations, but they don't necessarily need to defend themselves against those because there's no active proof. Ooh, Daddy Longlegs, very nice. So, if they're charging for repentance, I don't really want to give them money. And I was having a little bit of a moral dilemma about whether or not I want to keep on giving their game any amount of publicity, but this is also the roguelike where I just like talking about stuff. And yeah, I play other roguelikes, but none of them fit that as much as Isaac does, because Isaac is just so like second nature at this point. Even when Repentance comes out, because I played enough of Afterbirth, which is basically 90% of what Repentance is, I'm going to be used to that because I played so much of it. Our tier rate is very fast. So I don't know, I'm... Like Edmund, that's why Edmund must have distanced himself from Nicholas. He realised that they were assholes. Or at least they have one asshole in a very prominent position. Wow, this is very good, thank you. I will take Abaddon for sure. Alright, this is going to be a little bit of a stomp. Let's go. I'm not talking shit about Isaac, I'm talking about the people who published Isaac and have made the game worse consistently after the original release of Rebirth. Because each expansion has been just filled with troll items and whatnot, and that seems like that person's personality, so it kind of makes sense. Because that's probably also why Edmund just kind of focused on doing The Legend of Bumble. And Four Souls with his wife. It's like, yeah, just let them have that, they've got the rights to it now, so I can't stop them anyway. But he doesn't want to work with them on any future projects, presumably. So it's a little bit of a weird situation. Because I always knew the guy was an asshole, I just never knew he was a racist asshole. That is the safety scissors, I think. No, no, that's leisure. Wait, leisure. Oh, it's the one where it makes your head like float. Why did I just walk on spikes? I honestly thought I was going to skim past them. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, so your head stays still and fires very badly. Your body is... I don't honestly think that's better either, but... I don't know, what was people's opinion, both like who are watching live now and after the fact on YouTube, is... Do you think there's a moral dilemma about still giving this game publicity when, at least at time of recording, I'm pretty sure the guy hasn't been fired yet, and if he's in a prominent position, he might not ever be fired? Both about just playing Isaac in general and also like buying Repentance. Because it's tricky. Forsaken. My biggest worry here is I'm just going to still try and follow the head and not my body. Especially because the tears aren't coming out of the body, they're coming out of where my head should be. Ooh, tear rate up. You probably wouldn't buy the expansion, it's kind of like Borderlands 3. Yeah, that's the kind of situation it is, exactly. And that's why it's annoying. Just ignore those. And with that, we'll go down to the next floor. And Zeppo says he wouldn't care, but also points out that he's not got the best moral compass. That is the truest thing you've ever said. Well, it's food for thought anyway. 1 bomb for 2 keys when we have no keys is a good deal, plus potentially magic mush, but of course not, because never. I'll check this for magic mush as well. Okay, well, let's just use a little bit of that. I was going in the wrong way for the boss, but we need to go this way for that room anyway. That was a diagonal shot, I was not expecting that. I was expecting that one, but it was also point blank. Alright, let's see what's in the item room. That's the one where you fire faster, right? Yeah. That's good, potentially. As long as you keep firing in the same direction, you get faster and faster. Hopefully they'll oust the person in question and then this will be a relative non-issue, but we'll see. We don't need the shop on this floor, so we can keep on going up this way. Hello, Archon. Oh, chat, I have news. But you can't tell my mother. is the thing. Oh, Magic Mush! It finally happened. I didn't call it though. Thank you. Today, yes, 10,000 points to get a pun right out. Legitimate business points. Today, what was it, Gen 5 got added to Pokemon Go, and I didn't know that was the case, for the record. But coincidentally, I decided to load up Pokemon Go again today, for the first time the first time this year for sure. I think I stopped playing it around August-ish, well, maybe about summer last year, I don't know. Long time ago. Cubian redeemed the Tigrex theme for the ad break. There is a way to counter him if someone wants to spend. Just saying. Valinar has redeemed counterplay. He played a trap card. We'll actually be playing Peace and Tranquility during the... Where's this room? During the ad break. Okay. Took 3 bombs. Was it worth it? No! You did make a Cubian waste his points. I love it. We played the goddamn Tigrex theme every ad break last week. And we hunted Tigrex in Iceborne, so we heard the Tigrex theme in Iceborne. There was no escape. Make your time. That's why the counter card got invented. How many points for pirate music? There might be more in the future. For now, it's just those 2. That's another damage up. And speed, which we've been losing. We're now on the cusp of being too quick, but that's okay. So anyway, if I'm on your Pokemon Go friends list, you can expect me to start sending you presents again, at least for a little while. I was looking for distraction, basically, for when I'm out walks. Because as you may know, because I'm pretty sure I mentioned it on stream a couple of times last week, still in the midst of an IBS flare-up, and... See, the thing about IBS is, it's a lifelong thing, it's not fatal, it's not, you know, blah blah blah. It's not anything actually wrong, it's just symptoms. One of the symptoms of IBS, besides the extreme pain that you can be in, which I am in right now, is that it gets your anxiety up, and if you're already a little bit stressed out and anxious, it just makes it worse. So I found myself getting horribly anxious for no reason while walking the dog, and I listen to music, or have been since I gave up Pokemon Go, and that's not really distracting enough. So I thought, let's give Pokemon Go a try again, just for a little while at the very least, to give you something to focus on, because it's added a lot of stuff since I last played. And yeah, okay, I tried like the Team Rocket thing once, and try audiobooks. Well, I tried Zombies Run. But the thing is, if you're feeling anxious and you're playing, like listening to what is essentially an interactive audiobook that's constantly telling you to run for your life because you're being chased by zombies, it doesn't work that well if you're feeling anxious. Who'd have thunk it? So that was kind of like, that was my go-to, but then I went back to listening to music as a result. But back to Pokemon Go now. Long time ago, like years and years ago, I listened to Stephen Fry's podcast, but he only ever did like 6 episodes and then gave up or got bored and moved on. Which is a shame, because he is nice to listen to. I don't know if he ever like started up again after that, but I'm talking about years ago. Critical Role, that's the D&D one. You can't trick me that easily. But I also think like part of the reason anxiety can creep up on anybody is that part of the thing within is that you're often embarrassed to mention it because it's a sign of weakness, technically. Not maybe on literal terms, kind of. I don't mean that like in an overly negative manner. I'm being harsh on myself more so than anyone else who else might be experiencing that type of thing. So I feel like part of the way of combating it is to make it known. Like you take away some of anxiety's power if you make it known that it's there. Because it can't hide in like the recesses. So yeah, okay, you can feel kind of crappy every so often. There's reasons for it. Sometimes because you've just had a shitty day at work or things aren't looking too good. And sometimes it's because you have a chronic bowel condition. Same with depression. Yes, I think that's a lot of what can help with depression as well, is like talking about it. Also going for walks. It's actually learning about like going for walks and whatnot. I remember Stephen Fry mentioning it. Was that in his podcast he talked about that? You know what, I think it was when he was on QI. But it's still true. I will take a little delirium. We'll go a little bit risky because the run is too... Did I get the item room on this floor? Yes, it was the money. No, I didn't flare up today. It flared up last Saturday. Yeah, not the most recent Saturday, but the Saturday before that. And I remember it clearly because I'd gone to bed and then I woke up about an hour later in absolute agony. Not quite like in the base of the stomach, but like the upper left of the abdominal area. So I went to the loo, took some medication. It dulled the pain, but it was still bloody sore, and my muscle area there is still painful. And you know, the annoying thing about anxiety is it makes your stomach churn. And what does your stomach churn do if you have abdominal pain anyway from a bowel condition? It makes it worse. So you get into this horrible vicious cycle where your IBS causes anxiety, and your anxiety makes your IBS worse, which causes you more anxiety. And it is hard to deal with, or it can be. And it isn't a comfortable thing to talk about, at least not for me, because I don't like talking about medical stuff for the most part. I'm not comfortable talking about personal things in general. Just relax, lol. I wish I could. I really wish I could. In general, I am a calm person, for the record. Like, when it comes to, like, emotional responses, I consider myself calm. That's why I always try and look for proof or facts or whatever else before I take a stance on something. I want to know, like, the full picture. Be rational. If talking helps, then talk away, chat listens. I'm glad about that. Because oh, you weren't here because you just came in, right? But at the top of this, I was saying, like, part of combating anxiety is bringing it to the forefront. Because people suffer in silence because they're embarrassed to mention it. At least if what I've been reading is to be believed. We don't need to shop. Wait, mates, we're just talking about random stuff, don't worry about it. I'm letting my mind wander while my abdominal area hurts and it feels like I'm being stabbed in the lower back. Yeah, we were also talking about how much you smell. That is true, but I didn't want to break it to you. So Chris B did because he has no heart in the position of moderator. In the Injustice comics, Killer, Orca, and Croc are expecting a kid. Okay. Who's Killer Orca? Is that like Killer Shark's wife or something? Thank you K480 for 2 years with Twitch Prime. I appreciate the support. Welcome back. Well, we got Red Mom, so she'll die quickly. Yeah, like that's a perfect example, look, of like just like feeling anxious in certain situations, in most situations where it happens normally, is perfectly fine. It's when it misfires that it's a problem. Orca is the lady that looks like a killer whale version of King Shark. So we actually made it to boss rush, wow. Yes, we will take 9 lives, thank you, goodbye. We'll have a look in boss rush, but... Nah, wait. Oh, well, hang on, I can still go in. Is that cursed? Which item is that, chat? I want to try and do like a quick win here. Do it? Alright, fine, I'll do it then. I'll give myself an extra spirit heart, I guess. And fly, because why not? Evil Eye. I thought it was Judas's eye, but it's close. It just shows you how strong the run is if I got this far without even really focusing on it. She was paralyzed and then used gene therapy to walk again. And that turned her into a living orca. That sounds like a Batman villain. We got this far before I mentioned Batman. It's not bad. Maybe a more comfortable topic for people to listen to than being riddled with uncontrollable anxiety. Well, not uncontrollable, that's being overly negative on myself. I think anxiety and depression kind of share that trait where if you've never... Oh, look how fast we're firing there. If you've never experienced either in a situation where you're not supposed to, then you wouldn't believe that it was true. Because, like, if you see a car that almost hits you and that makes you feel anxious, you're like, well, obviously, my car almost hit me. I'm not emotionless. But if you have that kind of feeling just from, like... Well, it varies from people to people, but for instance, seeing a spider if you've got arachnophobia, then that's obviously a misfiring. And that's the stuff that can be hard to manage. So for instance, if I'm overly anxious because of my IBS flaring up, I've got a very sore stomach, it makes me think any slight twinge in my stomach is like something more serious, even though I know it's not. And I've been checked out numerous times. Something dangerous and smart. Was that still talking about the orca? We're getting HP back every couple of waves, so it's not too bad. Wait, why is it every couple of waves? Is it going up one a wave? No, that went up two a wave. Huh. Oh, because it's a double-sized room. Maybe. Yeah, it's a double-sized room. Tombury asks what you get if you cross a croc with an orca. Ah. Nope. You get anxious every time your boss rings you because your brain creates extreme circumstances? Yes. You know what that's called? Catastrophizing. It's got an actual term. What's my version of catastrophizing? Well, I kind of basically just said it, but... Any kind of twinge in the stomach area, I assume it's stomach cancer, because that's what my gran died of. So I think, well, that's me. I had a good run. And that causes more anxiety than if you just kind of took a step back and was like, you've got IBS, it's just IBS, it's not going to kill you. It's going to make you feel miserable for a little while, but it's not going to kill you. You get jittery when the phone rings? I used to be that way as well. I used to hate talking on the phone. I couldn't do it. I still don't like it, for the record. But then, as part of a college course, we had to like ring up a local library just to ask them like an inane question just to prove you could do it. I have no idea why. It was a business course. And I did that, and then from then on I was not nearly as bad on the phone. When you get a twinge in your chest, you think it's a heart attack? Yep, that's another common one. Painful headache, brain tumor, yep. And of course the worst part is if you really let the anxiety get the better of you, it becomes a panic attack, which I know a few of you have mentioned before in chat. I don't want to name names because it's their personal stuff and they might not want me mentioning them by name. But I remember at least 2 instances of someone saying they had to go because they were having one. That sucks. That was... Yes, one of them was you. Yes. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that has, like, you know, when you talk about them with a sensible brain, it's like it seems so stupid. I think getting out there does help, though. And don't get me wrong, I still probably won't feel better until this IBS flare-up wears off. It's just what I have to deal with. They can last weeks, sometimes more, but I can't fly anymore. I could fly because I used the... How could I fly again? What item did I use for that? Well, either way, I can't fly anymore. You once accidentally took 2 ADD pills in the morning, you felt like your heart was going to explode. I'm genuinely curious if anyone just kind of like quietly listening is like not believing us. Or assuming that we're exaggerating. Because it's very hard to tell somebody who's never experienced like those emotions in a situation where it makes no sense that like you're convinced. It's not that like, oh, you're worried you'll die someday. It's like you're convinced that yep, this is it. You're going now. And that's really, really hard to express to someone who's never experienced that. Like even if you talk to someone who had been in a real life or death situation, say they were like they had a gun pointed at them but they lived. And then you explain to them, oh yeah, I feel that, but like just walking in the street, they'll think you're an asshole, that you're making fun of what they went through. But you believe it in the moment. PTSD causes anxiety, yes, but it's not the only form. Like someone who has gone through a situation like having a gun pointed at them could get set off by stuff that isn't directly connected to the event, for instance. But it doesn't happen to everybody. Everybody's wired a bit different. Sometimes it's just because you're a warrior, sometimes it's genetic, sometimes it's just so happens you went through a particularly traumatic thing. It varies wildly. 3 full cards. You have excellent focus on the wrong things? Me too! Like right now I'm having a conversation with chat that I'm actually enjoying. And all that I'm thinking of is, ow, my abs hurt, ow, my back hurts, I wish it would stop. And it's distracting. And honestly, that kind of causes worry as well, because I'm like, I can't do my best commentary when I'm distracted by either anxiety and or pain from, you know, the cycle that I talked about. Which in turn causes worse. Ow. And stress itself can trigger IBS flare-ups. It's a horrible circle. You keep having spouts of hysterical laughter. See, to me that would honestly feel
none of this matters.
Preferable, but then again I'm not suffering from it, so it might not be if I actually experienced it. Even if Nicholas does fire their CO, it seems their company itself is doing shitty things. Yeah, is that about the cave story rights? I heard about that too. Thank you, Phelan, for the protection money. Please hit all the people who give Flik anxiety right in their hurry spots. I'm afraid the primary source of one's anxiety is usually themselves. Regrettably. Have I considered CBD pot? I don't know what that means. Oh wait, do you mean like the hemp oil that isn't the drugs, it's just the oil for the calming effect? You do mean that? I tried that on Sora on the vet's advice for her anxiety. Did not work. And I have been trying it for my own, and I don't think it's doing anything, honestly. I don't know if you're supposed to take it consistently or not, but I don't think it made a huge particular difference. You have to be consistent? Well, that's probably why I haven't felt anything then. Because I've just been using it once in a little while. I was consistent when I tried it on Sora, though. Consistently tried it for like a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's essentially... It's hemp, but it's not got any of the addictive drug in it at all. It's purely giving you the, like, calming portion of it. At least that's what they claim. Whether or not it's actual medical, I don't know. Take 20 drops once a day? 20 drops? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it says like 3. Hang on, I can tell you. Let me see here. Oh, you know what? It's 3 to 4 drops 3 times a day. I've not been taking anything like that, so that probably isn't fair for me to say whether or not it does anything then. You sure the 3 isn't for pets? No, it's a different one. I got one for human and one for pet, even though it's probably the same thing, but I didn't want to take the chance. Like, I'm sure it was the same stuff. But either way, I didn't want to potentially have something meant for dogs in my mouth, so... We made it to Hush as well. Goodbye, Hush. Oh yeah, Sora just got like 1 or 2 drops in her meals. So 3 times a day for her. So yeah, that's roughly the dosage I was giving her, more or less. But I didn't notice any difference in her. But she's even more high-strung than I am right now. Whoops. Does anyone else use it? Do they feel that it works? Oh, did not see you there. Oh, hold on to Chariot. Just again to reiterate, it's 100% legal. I got it off Amazon. To be clear, it literally has nothing that makes it illegal in it. I imagine over-the-counter places here sell it too, but I've never looked. Your neighbour has a vape cartridge with it? Are you sure it's not just the actual drug they're on? I was just going to leave, I'm glad I didn't, because Daddy Longlegs handled it. And that's a dead end. You've been given some gummies that had it in it? So that's the weird thing, is like horribly anxious as I am when IBS flares up, or just in general. Maybe it's affecting me outside of IBS flare-ups and I just wasn't aware of it. When I hit my 30s, I stopped having any problems sleeping. And I don't know why. Because I had horrible like times trying to get to sleep growing up. It took me hours when I was a kid. And so I remember listening to like music cassettes when I was a kid to try and sleep. I think it was just a part of getting, like, finally feeling old, maybe. Or maybe it was just actually, like, being content. I don't know. No, but if it was just being content, then chances are I wouldn't be right now. I think it was at worst when I was younger. I think it gradually got better as I got older. Used to sleep 3 hours a night. Jesus. Another dead end. So much for record-breaking completion time. You just need to find the right dosage for your weight. I mean, I'll go with the recommended and try that for a little bit, because as I say, I was using it like once. If once or like in a week, maybe 3 times in total. So I wasn't noticing any effect. Hello, Shotzi. But if I wasn't taking anything like how much you're supposed to, then obviously that would explain a few things. The more anxious you are, the more you need. Well, yeah, but also the thing about that is you don't want to, like, just avoid what's making you anxious. You kind of have to face it a little bit as well. Like, crutches to help you get along are fine, but you can't rely on them totally, because then you're never, like, facing the problem. Although, if your problem is a flare-up of a bowel condition that will go away, I suppose that that kind of makes sense. You did 3 hits off of the vape pen and nearly fell asleep. Again, are you 100% sure it was just the non-drug version? You say yes, but how you felt implies no. Like, did he just tell you it wasn't the other type of stuff? Is he trustworthy? That's not what weed does? What does weed do if it doesn't make you kind of like okay with being bored? Or not doing anything? We're all parents, they wouldn't drug us with our kids around. Where's the secret room? Oh, you say that, but you do live in Texas. Some make you sleepy, some is a fuzziness. Are you trying to say that smoking hash is responsible for the furry epidemic? I don't like that Valinar knew that as well. How many of you have taken illicit drugs? Was I the only one that went to college just to, like, take classes? Look how fast we fire. It's not illicit. Okay, it's not illicit everywhere now. But it was illicit everywhere. You get less hunger on it? Oh, for goodness sake. Valinar was a stinking hippie. See, Shady Doctor says he's clean, but his name implies that I shouldn't believe him. So I don't know what to believe. Ooh. We don't need either of those. Oh, seems. Oh, that's true. He was a soldier. I've never. Well, I mean, I've never been drunk, so of course I've never been high. Helpfrog Lawyer is taking notes, though. This is great blackmail for later. Well, what's that? You don't want to subscribe anymore? It'd be a shame if these chat logs got out. Oh, you're running for president? It'd be a shame if those old Twitch chat logs came back to bite you in the ass. Ooh. Well, we don't really need it. I was looking at chat. That procced on me twice. Oh. It also covered the damage though, so no harm, no foul, I guess. Free drugs with every subscription? That is not what I said, although you do get free drugs in Britain, well, Scotland, but only on prescription. I don't remember what that does. It just gives you a random zodiac sign. Is that per room or per floor? I think it's per floor. And we got something that slowed us down this floor. Drugs wouldn't be the thing... Oh, so it's Taurus, that's what dropped our speed. I think drugs wouldn't be the thing I'd be questioned for in this chat. Yeah, probably the cannibalism thing, for sure. He did eat that one person. But no one's found the body yet, so you're safe for a little while. Thankfully our speed was so high to start with, the Taurus is kicking in relatively quickly. Dead end. Well, I said one to cover you a little bit, but now you've questioned it, so okay, fine. A few hundred. But nobody's going to miss the hobos. Damn my overly large hitbox. Which is what I frequently say in real life when trying to find clothing that fits me. Ooh, attack fly. Well, that was a sub 40-minute run, which is pretty damn good. It's been a long time since I've done one of them. We saw, well, we did boss rush, we saw the door to Hush and laughed in its face. We're going to pay for this next time almost certainly. Diablo 2 to you two. Just face tank him, get out of here. Right, that was a good talk if nothing else. I hope it was at least interesting to those on YouTube. See you next time probably for more Isaac.